Await no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I am your host, Joseph, and it is here on this very podcast where me and my best friend Kyle and sometimes Sean Capri talk about the latest and greatest in all things games. And just like always, with me, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. As you can see, I am all bundled up in the snowy tundra of Northeast United States.
It hit literally
Actually,
overnight.
it's just my basement. The heat's not on yet, so I have to stay warm.
What? Dude,
we keep the heat off until the very last minute, and we have to bleed the heat heating pipes before we can get it blasted.
Dude, that's the worst. I'm sorry for you.
It's fine. I'm used to it.
I had the AC on this week, and then just in less than 24 hours, it was a tundra. And I was like, okay, well, global warming is a thing. This is just the worst. It's just like, it didn't give me any time to like any preparations, right? It was like 70, 60 was nice. You get a little windbreaker in you or on you, and then bam, all of a sudden it's like, it's 12 degrees outside. I'm like,
yeah.
But you know who knows a whole lot about the snowy tundra?
Oh, I have a feeling I know who you know.
Mr. Sean Capri, how are you, Sean?
That's me. I know a lot about the snowy tundra. You know what I did just before this happened? My mother-in-law came over because she's tired of almost killing herself on my sidewalk. She's like, "You're getting mats on this." Like, we set out outdoor like mats, like normally like that you have, that like a welcome mat kind of thing, but they're oversized, and she's got like 6 of them going up the sidewalk up to my house, so nobody dies. So
I need to get one of those windshield ones, like where you can put it over your windshield, so
with the sunglasses,
the frost.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I need.
See, I can never live in Canada. That's exotic. That's how you say it.
Canada.
Because it's just snowing constantly, dude. And I can't imagine shoveling every day.
It's charming. It's charming. And it's a great way to pull your back, and then we're all miserable together. Like, oh, you pulled your back too, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, eh? Oh, that's snow. Eh?
I'm sorry to hear that, eh?
Oh. It starts to get...
But Sean, you're from the Xbox Drive.
That's me.
We're natural enemies.
Definitely.
So how dare you?
How dare you?
Today's a special episode,
Sure
guys.
is.
As you know, last week, my PC died.
Yep.
We resurrected it, kinda. It only works when it's laying on its side, and if the CPU goes above 30%, well, the PC crashes. So Sean Capri came here tonight. He's just like, I'll help you record the video, and we'll also stream it on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Sean Capri. So here we are together talking about Death Stranding. But before we get into Disney Plus on your PlayStation 4, before we talk about the Uncharted movie news, before we talk about, yes, Google Stadia and some controversy around Death Stranding, we usually talk about what we've been playing this week. But this week is a little different because Death Stranding is here. It's upon us. And there's been a lot of heated talk around this game. A lot of 6s, a lot of 9s, and that's equals something pretty sexy. So today, we're talking about our thoughts.
Real quick, before we get to Death Stranding, we led off the last week's episode talking about Extra Life, and I just want an update of what happened this past weekend.
How did I forget?
For the kind of NYC Extra Life. Thank you to anyone who came out and checked it out over the past weekend. We had a measly goal of $1,600, and we crushed that. We currently are sitting at $10,525 raised for Children's Hospital in New York. Just completely blown away. And it's thank you to everyone who, even if you didn't donate, you shared, you stopped by and chat, you hung out. It really helped us out a lot. And also huge congrats to you guys, because the team you were streaming for just crossed 10,000 yourselves, correct?
That's right. Yep. 10,000, what is it? Like 10,400 or something?
Nobody, we're not really $10,412. Top 100 team out of 5,000. Not a big deal. But I mean, it's all for the kids. It's fine. Don't like to brag, but
But that's so cool that like we right here, this lobby we're in.
Yep.
$20,000 raised for those big, beautiful, gigantic kids.
We cured child death. That was the best part about it. That's all it took. $20,000 between our groups. Child death taken care of. Now we just got to worry about polio and all those other things that we haven't taken care of. Malaria.
We took care.
Is that how that works? I didn't do my research, to be honest. I didn't really do my research, Joe.
Have you vaccinated your kids? You know what? Let's talk about the Death Stranding. Kyle.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of contention.
Yep.
We're finally getting into this game, and how we're going to work this out is we're going to talk about the gameplay, the story, the acting, sounds, music, and then if it's a Game of the Year contender. Sean, your job, cut us off if you got a question you want to ask us. So with that, Kyle, walking into this game, where were you?
So I was, between the two of us, I was the more hyped out of the trophy room crew. Really loved what I saw from the art exhibit, and just the trailers intrigued me, and not really knowing what this game was, which excited me, and knowing that the scores last week were a little all over the place. So I was super excited to hop in and figure out what the hell this game is, because that is the main question. What the hell is the Death Stranding? And so far I'm digging it a lot.
Yeah, well, that's cool, because so walking in for me, I've been a roller coaster of emotions. I see things like the story seems interesting, seems a little like Twin Peaks meets a darker Stranger Things. That's and with Kojima wrapped around all that. But from what I saw, I was just like, yeah, but when do we get to the shooty bang bang? Right? Like, I just see a lot of walking. What is this game? Walking into this game, seeing the reviews, I'm just like, okay, nobody really knows what this game is, even the people reviewing it. So I kind of walked in last minute, blank slate. And again, I recommend everybody watch Skill Up's review, because it is very much perfect. When he said, hey, if you're the type of gamer that likes the exploration in an open world, if you're the type of gamer who wants to, or we're the gamer that tried to glitch up the mountain in Skyrim just to get at the very peak, you liked when it rained in Breath of the Wild, this game's for you. And that's kind of what I've been feeling since playing it, and I am hooked. I absolutely love this game, Kyle. So yeah, we like it a lot, at least for me. But the gameplay, what does it involve? What chapter are you on right now, Kyle?
I am maybe, I don't know exactly how far into it, but I've been in chapter 2 for like the last 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Roughly. Yeah.
And so from what chapter 2 is a little weird. Everybody, there's a whole Kotaku thing of like, try to get to past chapter 2 as fast as you can. Like, try to just beeline through the stuff. You can get back to it later. It really does open up at episode 3. I enjoyed it either way. Yeah. I really took my time with it. So what is the gameplay though? Is it just a walking simulator?
Yeah, so it's almost like, and this is going to sound like a bad thing, but it's probably the easiest way for me to describe it. It's like Fetch Quest the game, almost.
I was literally thinking about that while I was playing it, right before we started. Yes.
There are people that give you orders, and you go and fulfill those orders by bringing packages to whatever location it needs to go to. Yeah. While on that journey, you can pick up these lost orders that you find on the ground and add them to your backpack and use that for more likes, which is basically what you're going for in the game. It's not money, really. You're receiving likes from the people that are placing the orders, and pretty much everything you do in the world, you're receiving likes.
Yeah. And so with that, this is Fetch Quest the game. It is what a lot of people have boiled it down to, of like, it's FedEx simulator, it's UPS simulator, especially when you get to the later levels of the game. There's vehicles in it, and like there's a big truck. And there was one part where I was doing a delivery back and forth from one settlement to the other, and I was just like, oh, I'm a UPS guy right now. This is my hole. But there is something about this game where, yes, it's all about the trek. It's all about the journey, not the destination. So again, when it comes to the gameplay, this is a dystopian, post-apocalyptic world. Something devastating has happened to this world where most of the population is just gone, and everybody are in these little bunkers. And your job is to give supplies from one bunker to the other. So there's a bunker that is all about like vegetation and farms, and then there's one all about them calculating the weather, and they're giving supplies back and forth to each other, and you're the person that's doing all the heavy lifting. You're the middleman for the most part. And so the trek is dangerous. It's all about hiking up various slopes, whether it's, rocky terrain, whether it's
Yep.
snow, whether it's mud,
Going through rivers and
rivers.
yeah.
And so what ends up happening is, though this is a very desolate world and it is a single player game in terms of story and you don't see other players, it's a multiplayer game in the way that there are other players in the world that are placing things for you to help your journey along the way.
And let me tell you, Joe, when
Yeah.
I'm walking through and I'm seeing a ladder placed by somebody, I have a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Knowing that person left it there as kind of like a hint as to where I'm going and just to help me out a little bit. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And you just show your
Very Journey
appreciation.
vibe.
Yeah, it's very Journey vibe. And that you show your appreciation by just hitting like if you want to. And then that person, while they're playing, will see it, which is pretty awesome. There's this really cool feeling in chapter 2 when you unlock a bridge. Which the cool thing about it is, you like, if there are other players in the world and they're building better stuff than you can build, you don't see that. You can't use those things. So if you could build a bridge, that's when you can use bridges.
Yeah.
It's really meant to be like everybody's on the same level, but you're helping each other. So there's one part in episode 2 where I unlocked a bridge, and to get to this one point was so hazardous and I had to go back. But when I exited the shelter, I saw that people built a shit ton of bridges. And there's a BT zone. And what other players did was they warned people that their BT zones don't go here because these BTs, these ghost apparitions that we've been seeing throughout the trailers, will come and they will eat you.
And that's very much goal. Like what I've seen from like the Souls games and Bloodborne, where players can leave little messages, in this case just signs, which show you what's around the area pretty much.
Yeah. And even just giving you words of encouragement, like, you got this, keep on going. Like, those signs are always great when you're like having this really rough journey. Like, there was one part in episode 3, I'm traversing through this lake and it's super dangerous. It's super my stamina is getting wasted constantly. And there's just one sign in the middle at the halfway mark, and it's just like, hey, you got this. And it's super positive. And like, as I'm playing this game, I was just like, I'm really liking this, because this is traversal the game. Like, you have a stamina meter. You have to be smart. Like, your boots will run out of rubber and then you'll start slipping all over the place. This is very much a hiking simulator in again, boiling down it to plain English. So like, when I'm traversing and I see a sign of like, you got this, it's awesome. Episode 3 really opened up to me. And I was just like, you know what? It's that moment where I was just like, I love this game. Is where in the beginning of this level, again, I'm traversing this area. I'm having a real rough time because between these ghostly BTs that are haunting and scary as all fuck, then you got these mules, which are NPCs in the game. They just want to jack your stuff. They want to steal your stuff, right? So that they can survive. And so I'm having this rough go at it. And in the beginning of this level, I just see a little road. I'm like, oh, that's cute. Like, someone's going to try to connect the map. That's going to take forever. And 20 minutes go by, or 40 minutes go by, and I'm back at the same point that I was originally. I made the trek around the map, and I was like, holy crap, that is rough. And I looked, and that road became a bridge, and that bridge became a highway system. And in such a way where it was elevated so that mules couldn't get you couldn't get attacked. It was a way that and it wasn't just made by one person either. It was made by the community. The community got together without even talking to each other, going, hey, this is really rough for players. Let's help each other out. And so they built a whole highway system. I was just like, this game is not about you're not a better player by having the highest KD. You're a better player depending on how better of a person you are.
Yeah.
Throwing down a ladder between a river so people can cross easier makes you a better person. It feels really good. Like, there was one part, Kyle, I climbed this huge mountain and I had such a rough go at it. And I was just like, you know what? I'm the first one on this mountain. Nobody should have it as rough as me. I'm gonna just, get climbing ropes on here so that people could rappel up and down.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to see that when you come back to a building and like it has 1,000 likes and you're just like, I know I helped a lot of people here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
sure.
thing that gives me a lot of hope.
Even like leaving like extra boots you find in the post boxes
Yeah.
riddled around the world. So in case somebody did run out of shoes, they can go to one and grab them and use them for themselves, because
Yeah.
it sucks when you run out of shoes.
So
It's
Sean,
bad.
remember when you're on this podcast? Is any of this going, okay, I could see what this game is?
You know what is actually really surprising me, as I've heard a lot of people talk about it, whether it's on podcasts or online and on Twitter and whatever, is how much people. It's almost like, I don't want to call you guys out, but it's almost like you're overcompensating a little bit, because I'm surprised to hear you talk so much about the gameplay even though it doesn't seem like there's really much there. But you go to Kojima because of the crazy, like.
Right.
That's kind of like what I want to know a little bit more about, is like, tell me about the crazy. Tell me about these silly characters. And my first question is, is Die Hard Man a Christmas movie?
Good question. I don't know.
He's being reworked into the new sequel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, like this is a game where like I really like this game. Again, we're still just talking about the gameplay. I really like it. It's moment to moment. It's taking in the beautiful vistas. It's a very chill game where I'm just like, I just want to relax and just play this game rather than like play Call of Duty and just call a bunch of kids dumb, stupid, and ugly all day.
For sure, yeah. Just walking around the world, you're encouraged to kind of look around and just look at where you can go. And wherever it's that stupid cliche thing we've heard a ton in the last couple of years. Like, if you see it, you can climb it, type of thing.
Right.
Like,
and that's no bullshit.
No, it is 100% true, and the game is gorgeous. And some of my favorite stuff gameplay wise is once you get close to completing something, Kojima will drop a music track. So it's very beautiful, where you're walking in silence pretty much, hearing maybe them coming over your comms and telling you like little tidbits of the story here and there, but there are moments where you're getting closer to your destination and then a song pops in. Like, you're going the right way, you're getting affirmed that you're doing the right thing and getting to where you need to go.
Yeah. It's really beautiful and it's fun. Listen, I've seen a lot of people that are like, Joe, you're just blowing Kojima, right? Like,
whoa.
Listen, I'm saying it, right? There's just like, we get it, he's weird, but this game, there's no action.
Yeah.
There's no shooty bang bang.
Okay, so that's okay, Joe. But like, it's almost like people are reacting to an industry that never had a walking simulator in it. Like, is that kind of the? I think that might be. Is it reductionist to say that it is kind of like a walking sim, like an open world walking simulator? Because there's so much negativity associated with walking sim. But I love me a good walking simulator, like the Ethan Carter's, that guy who's missing, the lady who was in the house or whatever.
I think it is reductive.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think
okay, like it's more than that, but at least there's a baseline, because I think people are really struggling to, like, even now that it's been played and people are talking about it, people are still going like, what is this game? And I think that it's a little bit of ignorance. I think it's intentional ignorance in a way, because they want to perpetuate like, I don't know what this is, so I must bring it down a little bit. So,
and that's the thing, that like the conversation around it, when Kojima's like, this is a new genre of game.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't help. He's like, you've never heard of this before.
Here's the thing. We've seen elements of it, right? Journey, elements of it, right?
Sure.
You're meeting other players throughout your journey. Dark Souls, we see elements of it with the signs. This is an evolution of those ideas coming together and culminating in what is in a post-apocalyptic world, but is so... it's oozing with optimism. It's oozing with hope. It is literally a game, and I said this on Twitter, it is hope in the face of adversity itself.
Yeah.
It's hope, like, in face of hopelessness. Like, there is no way out of this situation.
Because it's so easy for these games in the face of hopelessness to go like, wow, everything sucks and we're all just going to devolve. But this game just goes the opposite direction. Now it's like,
it goes the completely opposite.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the story here before we carry on, because I think the gameplay is, again, it's all about exploration.
Do we want to
combat is there?
Yeah.
Combat is there, facing the mules, but I don't like the combat. I'll be real with you. I think it's actually too simple.
Do we want to touch on the BTs when they show
We'll
up
get to that when we hit the story for sure. So talk about the story. Your name is Sam Porter Bridges, and he kind of nails down what the Death Stranding is in the beginning. He talks about the Big Bang. right? Once there was an explosion that created the universe. Once there was an explosion that caused the Earth to spin into its orbit. Once there was an explosion that gave life. Then there was another explosion. That's Death Stranding. And so throughout this game, you are Sam Porter. You are a porter who is going from shelter to shelter, kind of unconnected from everyone. He does not give a shit about anyone. He's kind of lost hope. And you have this journey. There is a person out there who's trying to reconnect America. Because again, the Death Stranding has happened. We're understanding what it is as time goes on. So I want to be completely surface level with it. And you're trying to reconnect these cities together so that we as humans can be connected again, because we are not creatures that are supposed to be disconnected. We're supposed to be connected to one another and have these bonds.
Living alone is not the way you want to be.
Exactly. And so she's gotten captured by this terrorist group who is run by Troy Baker himself. His name is Higgs. And they're on this very mysterious mission to sabotage you. And from what I've gathered, they have a connection to the beings within the Death Stranding, which are ghostly apparitions. Nobody can understand what a BT is. No one has killed a BT yet. No one can see them, but certain people who have something called dooms in them. So Sam can sense them. He's a level 2, they call it. There are other characters like Fragile. She's a level 6, where she can teleport. She can actually use the Death Stranding to get from place to place. And then there's people like the main enemy, who's a level 7, and he can control things from the Death Stranding. And what essentially it is a plane of existence, kind of like something like a Stranger Things. Kind of think of it like an Upside Down. In Stranger Things.
Yeah. He's also
Ahoy, folks.
I was looking up how to say the word. Sam's also a repatriate, I think is how you say it.
Yeah.
Which
he's had a life before this.
Yeah. If you're captured by the BTs, you can get your soul back into your body and then come back from it.
I've never died though, so I've never experienced that.
I have.
Oh boy, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
And so pretty much what happens is if BTs get you along your journey, you have to fight them and then you break free of them. You're the only person with your blood, with your DNA, that can actually harm and kill a BT. And so if you fail and those things kill you, you have to go find your body in a strange, like, I don't know, place.
Yeah, when it happened to me, you just kind of woke up from where you were, and your surroundings are all.
But
kind of
to get back to the story portions, it's Kojima, dude. Like Dead Man. And like that's his name. It's like people call me Dead Man. My real name's Dave, but hey, we'll keep Dead Man. My real name's
Dave, really?
You know, we got Mama. Mama's an awesome character. I really like her, and like she has and this is
I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Cool. Her name's Mama.
No spoilers today, right? Like this is
no spoilers. Completely service level. Mama has a baby. That's why you call her Mama. You know what I mean? Who else? Heartman. I don't know his deal yet. Haven't got to him. Probably his name's Rick, but it's Heartman. You know? Rick. Some things are on the head, like he's beating you over the head with it, but some things are told through the gameplay itself. And that's what makes the story so special to me, is that every character you meet, for the most part, other than the villains, are giving you words of encouragement. Like, hey, help this person, or don't. It's just, I think you should do it though. Right? Like, or you should build this thing. We're not telling you should, but it helped people.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's those type of like words of encouragement where I'm just like, wow, it's supposed to be the end of the world. You guys are acting like it's a good day.
It also helps when you do those good things. Your BB will like it too, and BB. You kind of grow a deeper connection with your BB as well, which is a really awesome twist too when you finally receive that.
And each character or each chapter in the game is based around a central character you meet. So yeah, the first level is about your BB. The first level is about Bridget, the president who sends you on this mission. And then like the second level, or sorry, that is the second level. It's Bridget, and then the
It's
third
Bridget,
episode is
then
Fragile. And Fragile, you're learning all about her and her backstory through your actions in the game. So, but like to get back on track here, I really like the story. I think it's super optimistic. It's something I'm really enjoying. The acting for me, holy crap, it's incredible. It's everybody kills their roles, even when it's like a line that's supposed to be ham-fisted. They deliver in such a way. Like Mads Mikkelsen plays a character that has a lot of mystery around him. Let's just say that.
yeah.
And for some reason, you're connected to Mads Mikkelsen in a way, and so you're seeing his past life. And just there are some things where like are corny as hell, but it's Mads Mikkelsen doing it, and he's a tremendous actor, and you're following through on that. Like Troy Baker, for example, who's playing the main villain. He's hamming it up in the best way possible, where every scene he's just owning it. Everybody is just on another level when it comes to acting. Chef kiss. It's great. Yeah. Kyle, anything you have to say about the acting?
No, the acting. Yeah, I think everyone is really knocking it out of the park and really in their role. Even with all these weird things they have to talk about, like the dooms and
there's a lot of exposition.
Yeah. There is a lot of exposition.
Shocking.
I know, right?
I need to know. I know there's a lot of like famous people in this. I have a burning question. How's Conan O'Brien?
I have not gotten to him yet.
Stellar. He's stellar.
He's just playing video games, like locked away in a room, like nothing, like the apocalypse hasn't happened to him. He's still filming his show in Clueless Gamer. He's fine.
He's very much playing that role.
He's like, I'm playing this video game with a guy from The Walking Dead. I don't understand this.
Yeah, but with that, the sounds, the music, I think we talked over this. It is by far the best soundtrack. I'm listening to it on my way to school, on my way to work, and I'm just like, I love this. It
is the one thing when I walked out of the art exhibit last week. It was the one thing that really blew me away. The songs are perfectly put together and they work extremely well. And it's just the way he captured nature. Like I mean, it sounds real stupid, but like it feels like you're right next to a river. And when there's an absence of sound and you're standing out there in the wilderness, you feel it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is it, Sean.
It's on Apple. It's on Apple Music. Everybody, just downloading it right now.
On Spotify as well. For me, this is a Game of the Year contender. Easy. I'm that much into it.
Joe, I have this pre-ordered. I have it at Walmart. It's ready for me to pick up, but I am on the fence, man. I'm like as close as you can possibly be to just taking it home and playing it, but I haven't done it yet, though, man. Like I don't know what to do at this point.
It's a long game. Like that's the thing is I can complete for me all of the reasons why some people don't like it. I love it.
Yeah.
And so I can definitely understand where people are like, I hate it. And I can definitely understand why people say I love it. That's why when I say like, should you buy this game? I think you should try it out first. Like rent it from the library, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Rent it first. And if you really like it, then go out there and buy it. But we got some questions because we knew this was going to be a Death Stranding show. And the first question comes from the Winter Gamer. Damn it, we activated him. Damn it.
Really got to put safeguards in.
We really do. Yeah, 4, 8, 93,
15,
train
16,
card.
23, 32.
Activated him. He asks, do we need reviews to give us scores anymore? Or even ever? Should an opinion be given a value? Does scores actually take away attention from whatever the reviewer has to say? That is such a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For me, it comes down to who am I watching? That's like I told everybody, go watch Skill Up. I think he does some of the best reviews, right? ACG, awesome. He's an awesome reviewer, and it's simple. Should you buy, rent, or whatever? I like reviews like that. I don't like and here's the number we're going to give, because I'm guilty of it. Everybody here's guilty of it.
Yeah.
We scroll all the way down.
Yep.
We see the number, and then sometimes we read it.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't. We don't. I'm perfectly. I'll admit it right now. I see a number that's not what I was expecting, and I just don't even read it and just feel bummed, especially if it's a game I was looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Sean?
Yeah, man. I think that it's like it's a filter in a lot of different ways in terms of we see the number, we go, am I even going to play this or give it the time of day? But it also like for me, like depending on the number, I might be more encouraged to read it or not. Like that's kind of my starting point where it's like it's a 9, it's like, oh snap, like let me read more about this. Or if it's like a 3 or a 2 or something like that, like then I get intrigued by the number. But I was talking to Ryan Turford on the Xbox Drive about this as well, and I'll say this.
Yeah, just plug your thing. Yeah,
the Xbox Drive, it's a Xbox PlayStation podcast, but I can't even say it right. What I think would be kind of neat for everybody just to get on the same page about is rather than we are all on this this movement to just like tear down the numbers for whatever reason. We all agree that they're not quite there, but it's become cool to hate on review scores as numbers. Right. But I think what we really are looking for is like kind of like a number across different dimensions of reviewing the game. So your point of like, is it fun? Should I buy it? Is this like a shining example of what video games can be from like an art set? Like, I just think that it needs just a little bit more context. And I do like when review sites or a review itself comes along with like, it's at 9, so it's amazing, or at 8 for great. And like those do a little bit more to tell me a little bit more what that number means. But it would be great to have just those other dimensions in there as well.
Yeah, I would even go as far as say get rid of some of the other metrics and have those be the metrics.
Right, like remember we used to have like graphics and sound?
I don't need that. Tell me all these things. Is it fun to play? Is it easy to play? Is it, like... Yeah.
And like, there's been conversations about like, oh, is Death Stranding fun? And then like reviewers are like, well, fun's a tough word. I'm like, yeah, it's fun. I enjoy playing this game.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I enjoy it. Like we're going to talk about it in a second. Not every game I have to shoot someone in the face to get off, right? Sometimes I look at a beautiful vista and I pop one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
But like that, like not every game has to be action, has to be shooty, bang, bang. Sometimes it's all about taking in the view. Yes, games should be, media itself should be engaging. I should be engaged into what I'm watching, what I'm reading, what I'm doing. If I'm not engaged, then what's the point? Mm-hmm. Fun is relative. Throw that word out. You don't need it. You should be engaged with the product you're using. Look, I watched Soma.
I don't think fun. No, I don't agree with that, man.
I did not have fun watching Soma.
I think some games.
Soma's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
But
in my
to say
life.
that it's an irrelevant like thing to talk about is these are video games you're talking about.
It is. But like video games can also tell you amazing stories. Like, is Journey fun to play?
That's not what I'm saying though. But I think to eliminate that from the score, I think a game can still be like worth your time and it can be a shining example of what video games can be and be no fun.
Yes.
And that doesn't take away from any of those other things. And that's why I think it would be good to outline and bucket some of those categories. Like it's a 1 on fun, but it's like a 10 on visual presentation and cinematography and story and acting and all these other things. Like, and it's worth your time. But it can be. I think what we're trying to do is like. We're conflating things a little bit too much, and then we're mincing terms, and we're not really saying what we mean because we're trying to talk about 3 things all at once. It's like it's fun, but like it depends on what you mean by fun. It's like it's okay to say it's not fun, but it makes up for that fact of it's not your traditional fun because it's got all these things going for it. That's actually what happens in our conversations, but we don't have a number to reflect that, and I think that's really the tricky part.
Yeah, again, I don't think you need them. I don't think you need a color system or like whatever. It's just like you're watching, like I listen to a few people and like, again, just skill up. And I'm like, okay, he does a great job at throwing really great comparisons. And I can relate to those comparisons and I can relate to the games and what type of gamer he is. And what I always say to people is find your reviewer, find the person you like, have similar taste than you, and then follow what they kind of say. That's what I kind of go on. And then, tastes will change over time, but then you go to somewhere else and you get it educated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With that, guys, though I've been playing a lot of Death Stranding, it also taught me how to hike, how to fend for myself, and how to cross the Atlantic Ocean, because this is Andrew House's snail mail. It's just Ray writes in. Dear Mr. Andrew House, and you're smart kids. I read this and I was just like, and this is going in in the show no matter what. It has been reported that Sony is still looking to acquire more studios. How do you feel the reviews of Death Stranding affect the possibility of Sony buying Kojima Studios? Do you think the reviews, however positive or mixed, will affect either party on the possibility of them joining Sony Worldwide Studios? Great question. Sean, I'm throwing it over to you first.
I don't think reviews matter at all. I think this game is doing gangbusters on sales, though. And yes, like I'm surprised they didn't just outright buy them altogether. Mm-hmm. And I think the stock price is only going up on Kojima Productions. But it's interesting and it's complex because we're just hearing, news really confirming what we all thought all along was that Kojima wants to make movies. So how does that align with Sony's interest in the future? Like, can you buy like the gaming portion of Kojima Productions? I don't think so, man. I think that's really a huge reason why he wanted to be independent and partner with Sony. Kojima really gets the best of both worlds, and I think Sony's perfectly comfortable at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kyle, what do you think?
I mean, Sean said it perfectly, as he always does. Like that is... I don't feel like they need to outright buy Kojima because it is just selling like gangbusters and... Mm-hmm. Well, like, go back to it last week. PlayStation had a whole art exhibit for Kojima. There's not any other game that they've done that to at up to this point. So I think they love the collaboration between the two. I don't think the reviews will bother any sort of conversation along those lines at all.
It's crazy to see this game in the first opening weekend being the #1 game on Twitch.
That is weird. Very unexpected. Yeah, it's become a streaming game. And the other thing, as an Xbox player, an Xbox fan, I have all the consoles. They're all right here, right next to me. Mm-hmm. Man, I would kill for Xbox to have like a second-party game like this lead the holiday season. And where you go, we still got like after the holidays, after Christmas, New Year's, that's when we're getting all the rest. We're getting the Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima and everything else. Like from a first party standpoint, you're like, we'll just take it easy. Our first parties don't even have to bear that burden. Kojima's going to do it for us, and he's not even under our payroll, really.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing with this game that it's the reason why I love Sony.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to shit on Xbox, and I apologize. It's not coming out of a place of...
I don't necessarily think it's shitting on them, but I think it's the truth, dude.
To me, it is awesome to see a company going, listen, like seeing a free agent like Kojima going, listen, we don't know what the fuck you're going to do.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of money, though. Do whatever. We're going to shut the fuck up. You do it. Like, they didn't even know what this game was. And I said it in past episodes. They marketed it the best they can because not even the marketing understood what this game is. And it still came out and it's still sold like gangbusters. And Sony's fine with it. They just let the creators create. They just say, okay, like, what do you want to do? Okay, can we make a franchise out of this? Yes, go ahead. Go do that thing. Sony owns the IP of Death Stranding. You can do whatever the hell they want with it after Kojima wants to continue with the series or just be dunzos with it. Sony allows their studios to be creative, and it's the thing that though Xbox is killing it on so many fronts when it comes to streaming and Game Pass, I hate that there is a studio dedicated for Forza. I hate that there's a studio dedicated for Gears. I hate that there's a studio dedicated to just Halo games. I would love to see a coalition go out and make a game that they actually want to make rather than going, hey, coalition, listen, you make Gears of War and you make one about every 2 years. The story's going to be good. We'll continue the story on however long we need it to be. We'll add a new enemy that's basically the Locust. Multiplayer is going to be decent, and it's going to be broken in the beginning, and we'll never know how to fix it, and the community will die off in 6 months. Halo, you do the same thing, create a story, who cares? Multiplayer, microtransactions. That's what we want to do. And to see Sony just go, all right, Kojima, you want to make a game about walking up a mountain with a baby attached to you? Cool. Go ahead, do it. Mm-hmm. That is what makes Sony so awesome to me. That's where they totally get it. And people want that different. Like, they just want that different. Like, they just want a game that's just like, there's a chick that fights a robot dinosaur with a spear. It's dope.
Yeah.
And that's their tour de force. Like, that's why Sony is so dominant. That's why they're so great at making the games they make. And that's why we've seen Xbox so stagnant. That's why when people are like, oh, but Xbox bought 15 studios, I'm like, yeah, they've shut down 15 studios. I want to see what games come out of that.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about any of their acquisitions other than Obsidian.
Thank you. I was gonna say, come on, man, that was pretty good, man.
No, like that's the thing, is like, I saw something out of Obsidian. I'm excited for them. They have to prove themselves more. This is, again, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that this game exists. Famous Seamus writes in and he asks, now for a fun question. If Joe and Kyle were in the Death Stranding world, what would you guys be doing? Are you curious? Or how long do you think both of you would have survived in the Death Stranding world?
All right.
We would have died instantly.
Oh, 100%. The moment I hear BTs around me, and I'm not a quiet man, I can't hold my breath very long. I'm done. It's over. I would be
that's
one of
something
those.
we forgot about in the game. When you're in a BT land, you have to hold your breath because they sense your breath and then they'll come creeping towards you.
And if you hold your breath long enough, your BB, excuse me, will be
BB.
Will get stressed out, and then it will go into a state of autotoxin anemia or something like that, and then you would have to go back. It's a lot. I would be the guy, much like Conan O'Brien probably is, in one of those little stations and just requesting food and just letting these couriers do it. And I will probably just hang out by myself, peek my head out maybe every once in a while, just see what's going on.
I died at the incident.
Yeah.
Realistically, I'm done. I'm dead. I'm a BT at this point. Kyle, now we talked. Oh, God, I almost dropped the pen. We talked all about Death Stranding. That's a lot of Death Stranding to talk about. You want to get into some news now? This is going to be a long show. Let's do it.
My best friend, Brianna Reeves, over at BS Lifestyle, writes, Disney Plus is now available on PS4. Here's how to find it. The internet is ablaze today with people talking about Disney Plus, the brand new streaming service from Disney. Your one-stop shop for all things Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, and even a few surprises like The Simpsons and other Fox shows and movies. If you want to stream Disney Plus through your PS4, the app is currently available on Sony's platform and it's pretty easy to find. Simply navigate to the TV and video tile on your PS4 dashboard, the same place you'd go to watch Netflix, Hulu, or any other streaming service. And Disney Plus should now be one of the options available. For me, it was the first option in the list. You'll still need to download the app before you can use it. But coming in at less than 90 megabytes, you shouldn't have to delete anything to make room.
Okay, Famous Seamus writes in, this is a really good question to go on with this story. First off, Disney Plus exists. Yes, I've watched The Mandalorian 4 times. Judge me, I don't care, okay? Whatever. Next, Famous Seamus writes in, he asks, so Disney Plus is now on the PlayStation 4. Just wondering, what game consoles do you enjoy listening/watching other media on the most? Personally, I like watching Netflix and YouTube on my Xbox One more, mostly because I find it easier to turn off the Xbox One controller than the PS4. That's silly, Famous. You just hold down the PlayStation button and then you go up to Apple. You know what? It's harder than I want.
There's more than one step there.
I'm tired. It's been a day. I've been up since 5. Kyle, what do you watch your stuff on? Is it PlayStation?
It is only PlayStation. I watch my YouTube on there, my Netflix, my Disney Plus now, WWE Network. Everything's on the PS4.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sean, what about you, bro?
No surprise, man. It's Xbox. But I will say, like, I am a big fan of that cross-media bar. I love the UI on the PlayStation experience and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I hate the TV section. That entire TV section is
awful.
Awful. It's
dog
so
shit. Yep.
bad. I don't know what happens there. Everything else is so great on PlayStation. So,
yep.
You know, to Seamus's point with the controller, that's one thing. I'm with him on that. But, like, to me, it's that whole TV section just
it didn't used to be like that. It used to not have to load into a separate page. You could just access it straight from the dashboard.
Sony's gonna have to make it great again, man.
Hopefully. Give me those like 2 seconds of load time back. That's what I want.
Man. It's I know.
I watch everything. I'm gonna be real with you. I either watch it on my TV, like Netflix wise, because I don't own Netflix. I bum it off a friend. And when it comes to like Disney Plus, I watch, or like just movies and media in general, I watch it all on Apple TV.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, actually, main floor is Google Chrome. Downstairs is Xbox.
Yeah. With that, let's get to the next story. Kyle, I tricked you. We're still talking. We're still talking about
Death Stranding.
Nathan Grayson over at Kotaku writes, dueling translations of Hideo Kojima's thoughts on critics cause confusion. Over the weekend, Kojima voiced his own opinion about those reviews. Trouble is, nobody's entirely sure what he meant. It began with an interview with Italian site TGCom24 over the weekend. English-speaking site WCCF Tech then wrote a piece based on the Italian transcription, though not the original Japanese recording, of Kojima's quote. In it, the site posited that he had said Death Stranding wasn't able to strand its way into U.S. audiences' hearts because it's not a first-person shooter. Quote, I must say that the game received rave reviews, especially in Europe and Japan, said Kojima, according to WCCF Tech's translation. Here in the United States, however, we have had stronger criticisms. Perhaps it is a difficult game to understand for a certain type of critic and audience. Americans are great fans Jesus. Of first-person shooters, and Death Stranding isn't one. It flies higher. I promise I'm going to edit all these out. He went on to compare American audiences to those of other countries, saying, again, according to WCCF Tech, that he always aims to create new things that garner discussion. But Italians or the French have a different artistic sensibility that allows them to appreciate this kind of very original product, not only in video games but also in cinema. Major sites like IGN proceeded to weigh in with translations that put a different slant on Kojima's assessment, removing his declaration that Death Stranding flies higher. Instead, according to IGN, Kojima merely stated that Americans are some of the biggest first-person shooter fans, and Death Stranding isn't that. In other words, it's unfamiliar, not necessarily better or worse.
Okay, so Kojima talked to an Italian interviewer, right, or website, and they had a conversation. So he had a translator translating Japanese to Italian, and then someone picked it up and translated what was originally Japanese, then translated to Italian, then translated into English, and then everybody started freaking out. How
that's the way you have to do it, right?
I think that's actually how they wrote the story of Death Stranding.
So tell me Stranger Things in Russian, and then tell me it in Turkish, and then feed it back to me in
Google Translate, then take that and put it into Spanish, and then retranslate it again.
Hit solve, and you end up with 10,000 dead whales on the beach.
Pretty much. Hey, listen, meet me on the beach, Sean. With that, Kojima got a little flack for this, right?
Yeah.
Is though his statement, when translated as is it a little sort of douchey of Kojima to just go, Americans don't get it, they like guns and action, we're not about that this life, you know what I mean? Like, is it him just kind of like deflecting any criticism by just saying Americans are, I guess, like stupid, they don't get it if there's no explosions? Sean, I'll go with you.
Here's the thing, man. We got to take the good with the bad, or the questionable, perhaps, and not even that this is the bad. Kojima is he's a weird guy. He's an independent. We just spent a little while celebrating the fact that he's on his own. He's not even really answering to Sony. He's certainly not answering to his old boss anymore. And this is a free man speaking his mind. And to be honest with you, I don't disagree with him. I think he's bang on this, and that's okay. I just think that it's a bit of maybe a knee-jerk reaction when somebody, it's generally not very good to paint with such a broad brush, really. Right. But I do think that he's onto something here, that maybe we are missing something, and generally we do play games that are a little bit different. Like, we don't play FIFA as much as the Europeans, and there are demonstrable differences between like large groups of people who live in different areas of the world. We look at and we value different parts of games, to our point about the review scores before. So I don't get angry at this at all. I think it's refreshing, to be honest with you, because he's untethered to anything. He could say whatever he wants, and that allows him to speak in this way that kind of triggers some people in a way. Unfortunately,
I'm gonna cut off Sean. Kyle, obviously Sean hates America. He hates our freedom. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? You just don't understand us. Kyle? We have poutine up here. It's just super cultured.
We call them disco fries down here.
Damn, you put sprinkles on it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, because you get fat like Elvis when you eat them. You know what I mean? Kyle, what do you think about this translation? A bit douchey. What do you think?
No, I don't think it's douchey. I'm siding with
Yeah.
Sean here. I
Thank
hate to
you.
burst your bubble there, Joe. I think this is kind of refreshing to hear, and I think we need to hear it, right? Not every game needs to have this violence and shooting and attacking other people. It's nice to have a different kind of game.
All right, socialist, get out of here. I was offended and I was as an American, okay, and that's why I listened
Talk
to.
slow while I put it into
But don't
Google
you think?
Translate.
Okay,
Hold on.
there are things I haven't played it, but I've seen the screenshots. There are things in this game he clearly has things to say about your country. So
Right.
you're
And
already
you know
buying
what?
into this
You know
dude.
what? Just if you don't like it, move out.
Yeah. Exactly. If you don't like it, climb over the wall. Just get a ladder.
Dude, but there's
easy.
alligators and shit in there now.
Get a
Apparently,
ladder and a blanket.
you get a chainsaw or whatever. What is it? Someone got through with an axe.
You know what? Get a shovel. Dig underneath. Think
You know
outside
what?
the
Here's the
box.
thing. I'm only
Get a portal
messing
gun.
around.
All right.
He's so knowing Kojima, he's a huge fan of cinema. Like that's his thing. He likes a good movie. And movies traditionally, when they are more like again European films, when you look at a European film, you watch a European film, very different than a film that is in the States. We
Yeah.
traditionally do like our action.
No nipples.
Europeans do, yeah, and no nipples. Europeans all about freeing the nip, but
That's
no
right.
guns.
That's right.
So like what he's saying isn't wrong on a on a cinematic level. But yeah, like the person that reviewed it on IGN that gave it a 6 was an Aussie, right?
Yeah.
So like he's generalizing, but I understand where at least he's coming from. Does that make him a D-bag? No, because at the end of the day, I don't know exactly what he said because it is translated from Japanese to Italian to English. So
It's the
I hate
literal
to see-
definition of lost in translation.
yeah, like everything this guy says, everybody jumps down his throat going, "How dare you, sir?"
How dare you?
And it's like, dude, he's Japanese. Understand this is being translated into English. That like my dad, he's a Spaniard, right? He says some shit to me, and I'm just like, Dad, that's not how you say that word, right? Or that's not what you meant. Like when I was 6, I'm real talk. My dad would say beach, he would say bitch. He's like, let's go to the bitch. Totally like dad. What? So like again, if whether you're typing in English and it's not your first language and your again main language is Japanese, it must be insanely different to find the words in your head.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of shitty on us just to jump down this guy's throat who obviously doesn't speak our language, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But Kyle,
Yeah.
I lied. There's even more Death Stranding news. It's literally the
You
only
need to stop
PlayStation
lying
news
to
out.
me. You
I'm
gotta
sorry.
stop lying to me.
I'm sorry.
Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer writes, Death Stranding is PlayStation's second biggest exclusive this year. Hideo Kojima's PlayStation 4 timed exclusive Death Stranding entered the UK box game chart in second place, behind a dominant Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Death Stranding sits behind Days Gone as the second biggest PlayStation published game of 2019. Sony Ben's Not Zombie Killer sold around a third more copies during its UK launch week. Amongst other PlayStation published games, and certainly Sony invested heavily in Death Stranding's development, Kojima's new opus ranks in sales similar to The Order 1866 and Bloodborne. Each shifted similar amounts to Death Stranding during their first weeks on sale, all within 3,000 copies of each other. Death Stranding's arrival pushes Nintendo Switch exclusive Luigi's Mansion 3, which sold slightly more than Death Stranding during its own launch week, albeit without another day on sale, down to 4th, below FIFA 20. The full top 10 lies below. 1. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. 2. Death Stranding. 3. FIFA 20. 4. Luigi's Mansion 3. 5. Need for Speed Heat. 6. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. 7. Fortnite with some new skins bundle. 8. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. Number 9 is Minecraft. And number 10, Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville.
Press an F in the chat for Need for Speed Heat.
Oh.
Oof, yikes. It's impressive to see Death Stranding where it is in the middle of the holiday season with, like Call of Duty, again, FIFA 20. You got all these things around you, and you're still dominating the way you are. That's impressive to me. Sean, what do you think of it being not as big as something like Days Gone?
I mean, us Americans, we just like our shooty zombies. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, what else do you want from me? At this
They're
point?
not zombies, Sean.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were they creepers? Are they the Z's?
Freakers,
Are they
right?
Zeds? Are
yeah,
they...
the freakers. Yeah.
Oh, freakers.
Get it
Of
right,
course,
dude.
of course.
All right.
Yeah, man. I just think that it's amazing that it's Bloodborne and Death Stranding both not first party stuff. Not like, but selling so
Second
strong.
party.
That's really the story of the PS4 is the
Yeah.
strength of non first party stuff that they were able to get the indies to start things out, and then the second parties that people just it's to the point where people don't even know the difference.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know
And that's-
what's first party or not, and that's the story.
And that's the awesome thing. So like in Japan, like again, this is the best selling PlayStation exclusive so far, best first week
Yeah.
with like 185,000 units sold.
Yeah.
Bloodborne comes in second. You heard that,
Yeah.
Kyle?
Oh,
Bloodborne came in second.
game of the
I'm
generation.
sorry, what?
150,000 game of the generation right there.
Oh, did I maybe play it for like an hour and a half at Extra Life, and maybe I kind of like it, but whatever. Keep talking shit.
Okay, kind of like all right, never mind. Kyle, what do you think
Are you guys
about all
fighting?
this?
Are you guys fighting?
No. Dad just no. Mom fell because Dad hit it.
Okay,
Don't worry
okay.
about it. I'll keep it going.
Okay. That took a turn.
I'll hit you, you son of a bitch.
Oh no!
Kyle, what do you think of this news?
Yeah, I'm happy that it's selling well. I kind of knew it was going to, just because on Kojima's name alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know
it-
the
it's
irony?
cool.
You want to know the irony? Here Kojima goes, "Oh, Americans, man, they don't get culture like we do." The number one selling game on the UK sales charts, Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my god. Hey, Sean, you want to play gun game later?
Yeah,
gunfight?
you want it? Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Is it gun? Whatever happened to gun game? Is that the one where you go from one gun to the next to the next?
I think that's what just gunfight has evolved into.
Oh no, I want the other one back.
Yeah.
I want both.
Yeah, that one was fun.
Oh, that
Hey,
game's
Kyle,
Yeah,
do you think you can make it through this news story? Or you want me to read it?
I can make it through.
Because I feel like a big piece of shit because I know you're sick. I totally forgot.
It's
Let
fine.
me
Keep
read
hitting
all
me
these
and pushing
things.
me on the floor, Joe. By
All right.
Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon, Google Stadia will launch without a bunch of promised features. Ahead of Google Stadia's launch, I love you, Joe, on November 19th, Google is hosting an Ask Me Anything session on Reddit. As an AMA reveals, Stadia will be missing some key features on launch day. Those will start rolling out as soon as 1 week after launch, according to developers. At launch, players will not have access to an achievement system, though achievements will be saved and recognized when the system launches shortly after Stadia's release date. Nor will Stadia support family sharing. Parents will be able to manage children's experience on Stadia with parental controls through Family Link, but can't share games. Developers said it's a high priority feature that will launch in early 2020. Stadia will also not support Chromecast Ultra devices that didn't come with the Stadia bundle at launch. Only the ones the streaming platform ships with. The Chromecast Ultra is used to stream games to 4K screens. It's the only Chromecast device compatible with Stadia at launch. Google will update existing Chromecast Ultra devices over the air soon after launch, the developer said. Google said its approach with Stadia's launch is like how it does updates for Google Search, YouTube, and other services. A gradual rollout and continuous improvement based on user feedback. No games with Steam Connect, Stadia's multiplayer experience, will be available at launch. Developers said the first game with Stream Connect will launch before 2020. Games that support state share and crowd play, other multiplayer features, will be released next year. Likewise, Stadia Buddy Pass, which is a Founders Edition bonus, will be available 2 weeks after a user gets their bundle. Buddy Pass lets players gift Stadia to someone else for a limited time. No accessibility features are planned for launch either. Developers said the team is working with game developers to set standards for accessibility across all games on Stadia.
And it literally reminds me of Star Wars Empire, right? The Empire Strikes Back, where like Vader turns and he's just like, I've altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. That's kind of what it feels like. It's just like one domino after another falling of things that this thing can't do or won't be able to do at launch. And when you look at the launch list of games, they're all games we've already played already. They're like, we're launching with 12 games, also 3 of which are Tomb Raider games from this generation. Sean,
Did you
what
say
are,
2
what
or
are
there's
your
3?
thoughts?
Yeah,
There's
All
3.
of them
sorry.
are there.
Yeah, all 3.
Yeah, oh.
Yeah, no.
I think there's one exclusive there
Is there?
on Stadia. I think the game Guilt. I don't know if you can play that anywhere else, but
Oh man.
Ooh, I had to blow my nose. I was dying there.
Joe, this is hard.
Yeah, there's only one exclusive, the game name Guilt. Everything else has come out throughout this generation. Sean, my thoughts as I'm the Sony guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I just threw my punches in the ring. I want to tag you in here. What are your thoughts?
This is real hard,
Eat the
man.
son of a
Because I'm
bitch.
a no, I'm a Sally Shine. I'm a positive guy. I don't want to. I want technology and platform holders and I want there to be risks taken. I want things to be progressed. I want to move beyond where we're at today, and the only way to do that is to take risks. And so I don't want to be the one to poo-poo all over this before it even comes out and shut it down before it gets a chance to get going. I think Ouya was an interesting idea, but I really start to see a lot of Ouya in this, and that imagine what the world could have been like if that took off, if we had a way to play, like, especially now with Apple Arcade. If there was a way for us to, have that maybe a little bit more on TV, although I guess the Apple TV is that answer. But I can't ignore everything that Kyle just read, and I'm just shaking my head at every turn. It's like, I think it's disrespectful, and I don't use that term lightly. I don't think that it's really fair I think we generally take things very personally as gamers and people in this space. We go, oh, I'm taking that like that is a personal attack on me and my money and my wallet, but like, they're really not respecting the people who are supposed to be there, like the most dedicated, they've sold these people as early adopters, probably going to be paying more than anybody else for this thing. Certainly sold them on a lot, and taking it all back, that in and of itself is disrespectful. And No Man's Sky suffered a dire fate because of that. So I'm walking the line, man. I want it to do well because I want to see things advance, but damn it, Google's not really earning it at this point.
They're not. They haven't done themselves any favors with this entire rollout.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, someone give us a gun so we can shoot ourselves in the foot. And people are like, why are you doing that? Oh, I just want to see how it feels. It's just like, it's none of the things that they've said are making sense and lining up with reality at this point. Like, a lot of people are,
the iterative thing that they say is, it totally makes sense, and I get it. Like, you're never going to roll something out day one and it's going to be perfect. That's not my expectation. But don't sell us
exactly
on the stuff that you think is going to be there day one. Say, like, just pull back a little bit. Like, the technology is cool, and there's a lot to be bought in on this. But when you kind of overcompensate and then go, when it's time to pull the trigger and you're coming up flat, like, there's no going back. They could have really they could have pared down, simplified the message, because they tripped up over themselves a lot and confused themselves. And now people who were actually paying attention and were able to pick apart all the things that they were promised are not getting that. And it's bad across the board. There's confusion. Now there's unfulfilled promises. So I hate it, because I want them to do well. I want there to be another option, because it advances everything.
And that you're right there, right? Like, and you know what? Before I even continue on, Kyle, give me your thoughts here, buddy. What do you think about everything?
I think it sucks. I really do. The fact that if you already own a Chromecast Ultra, Stadia will not work with it when it comes out. Only the ones that come with the Stadia's like pre-order thing. Why can't you just throw out an update before it's released, kind of what Apple did with Apple Arcade?
That part isn't so bad, though. You're only going to be able to access Google Stadia if you buy the Founders Pack, which comes with it. So that part isn't too terrible.
Fair, but what about the people that went out to buy a Chromecast beforehand? So that way, the only
thing is that you can't go onto the next TV if you wanted to kind of like explore around your house, right? Like, so you can use the one that it comes with, which is fine. But to go stop on one and then go to the other TV, that's where you're going to have an issue.
That's fair.
Right now it is like a console. that's the irony right now, is that you did just buy $130 console. And the thing is just like, even the simple things of like just getting these things onto people's doorsteps.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, it's actually a 2-week process. Our bad. They're making all these mistakes. And sure, this is a beta, this is a slow test, and a lot of people will defend it by saying this is just a soft launch. Well, look at what Xbox is doing with xCloud.
It's perfect.
Look what PlayStation is doing with Remote Play.
Yeah.
xCloud is a great experiment of Xbox going, listen, this is not ready for stores yet. We need your input and we need to test this. Here are a few games you could try out, test, and give us feedback on. That's how a beta test should work. You shouldn't be paying $129 for a beta test.
But remember, they did one last year. Remember, they did it. We didn't know it was called Stadia, though.
With Odyssey, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when
Odyssey?
but that was they've premiered it.
Sorry.
No, like I get it there. Like that was is alpha of alphas, but like
that's exactly it. I just wanted to remind people that was a thing. They should have done it again this year. Maybe expand the scope a little bit.
How dare you correct me?
Dare you?
I have to think on the fly. How dare you? When I'm saying a beta test is you're rolling this thing out and it's obviously still not ready for prime time, and you're acting like it is. And now no one's going to believe you if this thing is actually capable or not. Mm-hmm. And what it seems like they're doing is they're purposely stripping out features on purpose to get people into the door and to get it a smooth experience and then gradually building. That's what it feels like to me. New features will get added the smoother the experience becomes. This gets me as a PlayStation fan, to wrap this up with a bow, I'm not nervous.
Yeah.
Not one bit. I applaud them for the effort so far. I see the result as just okay.
It's kind of like the power of the cloud. Remember when Xbox was launching and they're like, oh man, none of this stuff is not possible without the power of the cloud. Mm-hmm. Crackdown 3 could not be possible without the power of the cloud. Drivatar. And they're like, cool, even if that is true, don't care. It didn't even and it wasn't all that impressive either. So yeah, they've really missed the mark on a lot of it.
They're trying to be like the YouTube commenter that replies first. They're racing to be the first one out. Yeah, and they are stumbling hard.
Yeah.
It's sad to see. You hate to see it, folks. You really do.
Well, as an Xbox fan, I like to see it because now, like, xCloud is just like, oh man, that is the winner. Like by default, it's not like they're trying to go alone. They've got a nice comparative, and everybody to go, well, it's not perfect, but certainly better than Stadia. So the choice is xCloud, and I love that.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, it's cool to see that Stadia's presence has scared both of them to do really, both the big two, Sony and Microsoft, to do different things, and to take more risks. But I'm seeing this as a non-threat at this point. Even Cyberpunk is getting delayed.
Yeah,
like they're not even promising that you'll get that day one as well.
No surprise, really.
No surprise. Yeah. So it's just, I think they were too ambitious in their wording. Not a lot of people got it, and what we're seeing so far is not promising whatsoever.
The thing is, man, and I said this on Nintendo Dads as well, the thing that people are often forgetting, and that eventually we're going to get our hands on this thing, and eventually people who do not have very powerful PCs who've wanted a powerful PC, or maybe they're about to spend $2,000 on a gaming PC, and they look at this and go, that thing can do 4K. Like, that thing can, like, potentially, if everything works out well, it can give you what a $2,000 unit can be. And I know Lee Navarro's in the chat here as well, who, like, the experience is going to be a little bit different, but just like Blu-ray, it gives you better fidelity on your movies than Netflix. People went with Netflix, man. So I wouldn't write off this cloud streaming thing just yet, because people go for convenience big time.
I will say this. Disney Plus, okay, to this horn right here. Only way you're gonna watch The Force Awakens in 4K, and it's beautiful.
Is it really? They don't have a 4K Blu-ray?
No.
That's crazy. But again, like I think it's objective that Blu-rays, a 4K Blu-ray looks better and sounds better than 4K streaming.
Yeah.
But people don't care. The point is that people don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. You're totally right. This is a journey that is gonna take time.
I just want to stay balanced in it, man. I think it's very easy to dogpile on Google, and I'm with you guys on the negatives, but I think there is a tremendous amount of promise out there for bringing access to gaming to people who just couldn't afford it, didn't care about it, whatever it is. There's people who can be brought into our industry. So it's just too bad that we're being kind of dinks about it. But what else is new, I guess?
But like at the end of the day, though, it is important to focus critical on their mess ups. Yeah, but like, again, like it's getting so bad where it's just like, hey, if you're in the San Francisco area, one guy, even like one of the admins on their Reddit for the AMA was like, we will hand deliver you this thing. And it sucks to see that. It sucks to see a launch where they're obviously the people around it believe in it enough, at least seem like it. And to see this marketing just go, hey, how do we dive off this board face first? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's just it hurts because you see the passion is there. People worked really hard on this. It is true. It is important not to character facade aside. Let's not just beat the shit out of this because we're a PlayStation podcast. I hate when I hear people like Sony's done because Sean Layden, a guy I never met, left. It's like, no,
Yeah.
stupid. Like again, I love Shu, praise his name, but the day he leaves the company is not the day I forsake Sony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like to me, just seeing this mess up from Google, it just as a consumer, it is like we've been misled for months, and now it continuous. It's like it's all coming together, and it's just rolling off. It's just God, what's with me with words? It's kind of snowballing into this thing where it's just like one mistake after another, and you hate to see it, but this seems like a disaster so far.
It's
And
okay.
I want to know.
Of course, he's gonna go over to Stadia and fix everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
good. But like my thing is, I want to see how they turn this ship around, if they can, by the time Scarlet and the PlayStation 5 comes out. You know, that's where that's where my head's at least. With that, Kyle, Sean, I forgot to tell you, look into the Google Drive doc. Prepare the drop. It's linked. Click on it. There's a list of PlayStation games. Click one that piques your fancy. Okay. Ready?
Okay.
All right, good. Hey guys, are you holding on to something?
No. Why? What's happening next?
Prepare the drop. Each and every week, PlayStation drops the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation onto the PlayStation storefront. The only problem is that there are way too many awesome games to name. So, Kyle, Joseph, and Sean each pick a game of their choosings to talk about. This week, Joseph's pick, BB.
You love to see it, guys. You love to see it. In a galaxy spanning adventure awaits in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a third-person action adventure title from Respawn Entertainment. An abandoned Padawan must compete his training, develop new powerful force abilities, and master the art of a lightsaber, all while staying one step ahead of the Empire. Guys, I'm in. Again, we talked about it a few weeks back. It's Dark Souls meets Star Wars. What more can you say? I'm in. I have spoken.
I'm very excited to pick it up myself.
Kyle, what say you?
What say you? My game this week is a little game called Yaga. Smash, clobber, and bash the murderous legends of Slavic mythology in this darkly funny action role-playing game that changes every time you play. Play as Ivan, a one-handed blacksmith with incredibly bad luck who must take on the impossible tasks given to him by the Tsar. Game looks awesome. It's got a really cool soundtrack. I like the hook that you're some blacksmith with only one arm. The trailer is really funny. It's beautiful. Go give it a look over on the.
Right.
I think it's on the official PlayStation YouTube channel is where the trailer is. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, go give it a look.
All right, I'll give it a. You know what? I'll give it a look. See, Sean, what say you? Did you find a game in time?
I sure found a game. Man, you're not kidding. There are way too many games, and it's very difficult to pick a single one.
Yeah, that's why when I look at when I see podcasts, like, all right, here's a list of games that came out this week, and it's just like, all right, here's 20 minutes I can
just
skip.
Fast forward this. Well, I'm glad that you guys do this section because it gives a chance to highlight the games that are going to get missed. Everybody's going to be talking about the Star Wars and the Dark Souls and everything, but my pick of the week, everybody thinks I'm a dog person. My pick of the week is Kitten_D. Take care of cute kittens. Lots and lots of cute kittens get points for keeping them happy and lose points for everything they destroy. Use points to upgrade your tools. Get an automatic food dispenser or clean up poop faster with the Poop Scoop 3000. What awaits inside the next box? Kitten_D comes out November 14th to a PlayStation near you. Holy crap. How am I going to live my life without this game, Joe?
Honest to goodness.
You think I made some of that up? That was right off the drop.
I literally thought you were fucking with me. And so I clicked the link. I'm scrolling down. I'm like, I don't see it. He's lying. And the icon alone.
It's beautiful. I love it a lot.
I think Mr. Bigglesworth is in there. There's like a
Yep.
couple. Oh, it's hilarious. That's a great game. So I'm
Do you
glad that you
think this
guys
is
do
an
the due
easy
diligence. It's
Do you guys-
got to be a plat. Yeah, definitely.
If there is, I'll buy it.
I didn't even notice. It's a VR game.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to
it's-
mention. Yes.
Yeah, it's PSVR.
Oh,
You're
all
using
right.
that Poop Scoop 3000 in
All right, I'm
glorious
looking-
virtual reality.
I'm looking up this on YouTube. I don't believe it. He has VR. Let's
See,
do
this is it, man. Most podcasts would just glance right over a game like this, but we're giving it the time and spotlight it deserves.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
you know what? You could dress up your kittens, and you can make them have the Kanye West sunglasses. Oh, look at it! Oh, in a fireman hat. Oh, this game, I'm buying it.
That's what I'm telling
And you're
you,
in
man.
space.
I'm
You're
telling
also
you.
in space, by the way. Apparently,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely on a spaceship. Now it's on fire.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Gotta save those kitties.
Yeah, this is okay. One's got a MAGA hat on. That's weird.
Oh.
All right. Anyway, that's kitten. You can dress him up, give him a top hat. It's your cat. You do what you want with it. Guys, we used most of the questions this week. I do have one from Luke Lore over at the Xbox Expansion Pass. Luke Lore, aka the Insipid Ghost here. And he writes, as you approach the end of the year and look back, are you playing more or less games than you did in 2018, 2015, 2011, etc.? As you're getting older with more responsibilities, how are games shifting in priority? Sean, what say you? Where are games landing for you, man?
Time is a flat circle, Joe. Whatever that means. I don't know, man. I'm all over the place, to be honest with you. Some like last year was pretty dismal, but this year I seem to have managed to work a bit more into my schedule, or maybe I've been better at being choosy about it. But it's like now I've got 2 kids. I got more kids than ever, and somehow this year I'm playing more. But Ellie's just in a different stage, so I don't know, man. There was a time, like I think you and I were just talking earlier today, like when I was in college, I actually wasn't playing nearly as many games. I played my Call of Duties and my NHLs, and that was kind of it. And maybe got into Fallout, and that was about it. But I don't. Every year, honestly, is completely different. Just like the games that are released every year are very different. So I don't know that I've been on a straight path, but to the surprise, honestly, of nobody, like the consistency hasn't been there at all for me. Really. Like, I don't know
Kyle,
what's
what's
gonna
in
happen.
you? Where's been your life in video games?
Yeah, so lately, in the past couple of months, it feels like I've been playing a ton. Like just a lot of Borderlands, and now Death Stranding is just on my mind. I can't like get it out of my head, so I want to keep playing more. But I feel like I played more in the past. Just as we get older, there's more crap that get dished on your plate that you have to deal with, and it's really tough keeping or staying on top of finding that balance of playing and getting all the adult stuff out of the way. But I mean, coming up with the holidays, I'll have a couple free days. I'll hopefully catch up on there. But yeah, it's one of those things, like as we get closer to the end of the year, I always feel bad on the games that I didn't get to.
Big time.
That I really, really was excited this year. Like I put maybe 10 hours in Days Gone.
Yeah.
I'm very upset that I did not finish that game.
Don't be.
You
I
say
didn't
that,
touch it.
don't, but I wanna experience it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, to me, like I mean, look, we have podcasts about backlog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to all the games we haven't played, I'm looking at research. So, like for me, games are my form of entertainment first and foremost. So, like, I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of movies. But like, so like I'm behind on a lot of media. My way of escapism is through video games. So I'm always playing a game. It doesn't matter the type of game either. I just want to get lost in this world. So it's been pretty consistent for me as I've, been busy. It's just a way of escaping and getting out of your headspace for a little bit. I will say though, the only big significant dip is in 2014. That was the worst year in video games. That was Watch Dogs, Destiny, and what was the other game? Oh, Titanfall. And all 3 of them really didn't live up to their expectations. So
You did that
yeah,
on purpose, man. You know Luke likes Titanfall. Titanfall.
no.
Great.
I love Titanfall. I love Titanfall 1. It was just after a month, all of a sudden, the community just died overnight. And by the way, people, I didn't play it on Xbox. I played it on PC. Okay. Yes. Go on. Just shame me. I get it. I'm a filthy whore. With that, guys, gang.
We literally said nothing.
I know, right?
It's cool if you're defensive about it. It's fine.
Yeah. Guys, that's been the trophy room this week. I'm sorry. I feel out of it and just completely a mess because it's, again, PC's dead. That sucks. It's finals now. I literally had 1 week between midterms and finals, and they're all projects, and it's killing me.
How come they're so close together?
I have no idea. 3 of my classes are ending in the first week of December. Yeah, it's awful. So with that, gang, that's been the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players, but also powered by the patrons over at patreon.com/badbit, where you could go support us at whatever tier you want. $1, $5, $10. You do what you want to, man. Help support the show, help us grow. We will have the Road to Greatness within this week. It's a mini series, a deep dive on each individual latest and greatest game that surrounds PlayStation. Our first series will be locked in on Death Stranding. So if you want to hear even more of our thoughts as we go through and chronicle each chapter by chapter, go ahead, support us at the $5 level. You get that a week early before anyone else does, and it really does help the show out here. And you could be like our awesome patrons who we give a shout out to, like Daniel Welsh and the Winter Gamer himself. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. And so with all that said, with all that out of the way, Kyle, you have anything to pimp out for us there?
I'd always like to plug myself. Who Dat Ninja 73 on Twitter and on PSN.
Yeah.
My show all about the kind of funny community. Best Friends Talk Funny is on Twitter at BFS Talk Funny and Best Friends Talk Funny wherever you listen to podcast services.
There you go, Sean.
Yeah,
Where
Joe.
can people find you?
You can find me in Canada every once in a while. I'm in Rome, New York, once a year in November.
Yeah.
But also, please, I know you guys are all Sony. Actually, I shouldn't insult the audience, should I? Can I roll that back a little bit? Can I roll it back? Jump on into my car because I record an Xbox podcast in my car with Ryan Turford, the man on the moose. He and I talk about Xbox. It's a show that fits in my commute, so hopefully it'll fit in yours. And I love it. And Joe and I, we support each other. I love being on this show. Joe, first, what am I even doing, man? Thank you so much for having me on the show. Thanks for the opportunity for this to be on twitch.tv/Sean Capri, where people can find me streaming sometimes with you on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10:30 p.m. on the Eastern Standard front of times. I also do a show called We the Gamercast. Just kidding. It's the Gamercast. Last month, at the beginning of the month, we launched an episode with Lee Navarro, who ran Phoenix Overdrive, the team that raised $10,000 and cured child death. It was amazing.
Jesus, stop saying it like that.
I'm sorry. I think that we did. I think we did an amazing thing. And also, if we're on Nintendo with Bobby. But, dude, just follow me on Twitter at Sean Capri, of course. Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants.
And at the end of the day, like, you love to see it, folks. You love to see it. That's gonna be the phrase this night.
You love to see it.
I love the Xbox Drive, and we always try our best to really just understand that at the end of the day, it's all about the games we love.
Yeah, man.
And that's the one thing we constantly try to push on the trophy room is that we love all of our games. Like, I don't try to hide my Switch or hide my Xbox. It's all about, we love all of our games. I just love playing PlayStation a little bit more, you know? And that's the same thing that you guys and gals over there at the Xbox Drive do. Why did I say gals? I don't know.
I don't know.
Dying in my head. You know what? I don't want to assume Ryan. Who knows?
That's true. He hasn't told you.
Yeah. So with that said, though,
damn it.
You son of a bitch.
I know.
But yeah, no, thank you so much, Sean. You're amazing. I love
amazing.
the Xbox Drive. Hey, you're breathtaking.
Look at us.
So with all that said, with all that out of the way, again, support us on Patreon if you could. The podcast may let me walk back this. This is how I'm editing this whole part out. This is how tired I am right now. Gang, real talk. Been up since 5 o'clock. I don't know how you adults really do it. It's 12:08, and I just want to go to sleep, but I won't because I'll put out this podcast. I'll be up at 2, and I'll wake up at 6 again. It's gonna be nuts. With that, I want to thank everybody again. Patreon.com/badbit. Help us out, help grow the show. And if you like this show, please find us on anywhere that you find an RSS feed, whether it's Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, wherever there's an RSS feed, you can find the show here and the video version, thanks to Sean, this week on youtube.com/badbitgames. So check us out there. And with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.